What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mekhi back at it again with the second and last part. We're going to go ahead and finish this on up. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys enjoy these, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Ain't finna waste none of your time. Let's go ahead and get into it.
The United States men's basketball team landed in Barcelona for the Olympics on July 24th, 1992. In store was an experience unlike anything they or the sports world had ever seen.
The plane landing in Barcelona, helicopters flying over it.
We're thinking, wow, what is all the commotion? What happened? And then we figured out they were there for us.
That was the first time that we realized how popular and how enormous this thing was. I was like, guys, if we lose, it's gonna be like the biggest upset in sports history.
Barkley was right. There was no margin for error, a reality the rest of the team openly accepted in their first press conference in Spain.
I know I'm really afraid to fail because I can't go back home if we don't win the gold. Even though from a little small place in Summerfield, those 250 people there said, I can't come back.
Barkley, meanwhile, handled an endless barrage of questions as only he could.
How did you feel in 1972 when the Soviet Union beat the United States in that wild game?
Well, I had just flunked my entrance exam into kindergarten, so that was the only thing,
You know, everybody that has ever been in front of a camera, we tend to not say certain things.
Why don't they just take their ass whipping like people and go home?
Barkley says things that we would think about and never say.
We're gonna have a little revenge in our hearts for 72 and 88. David, he can't say that because he's a Christian. But,
He said, man, you don't talk honestly enough to the media. You need to tell them what you really think. And I said, Charles, you talk too much to the media. You need to stop telling them everything you're thinking.
And when Charles was asked about the team's first opponent, his prediction was as honest as ever.
I don't know anything about Angola, but Angola's in trouble, I think.
Just moments ago, the Dream Team boarded the bus outside their hotel along the Ramblas. They're heading for their first matchup in Barcelona with the Angolans.
I can remember the first game, the real game, when we came out of the locker room and stepped on the court. And I finally said to myself, I can't believe this, I'm here.
At that point, we were in serious Olympic mode.
This actually may be the biggest mismatch of the entire Olympics.
Yeah, one.
Beautiful feed. And he drew the foul.
Hey, give me that.
The U.S. with a 46-1 run. 46-1.
46-1.
It was just a tremendous atmosphere because there was an appreciation for how great the U.S. players were.
After the first half, Barkley's pregame prediction appeared dead on. But in the second, Charles found some trouble.
I had players in Angola who play against Charles Barkley. They told us there's no a kid, a fat boy, is many aggressive in the paint.
Rebound Barkley. Rebound Barkley. And he's fouled and shoves David Diaz. Well, Charles getting a bit aggressive.
I thought they were playing dirty. And I told old boy, I don't even know if he understood. I said, hey man, ease up on the elbows.
Barkley from Pippen.
I let it go twice.
You can see the frustration with Barkley.
And the next time, I just cracked it.
Barkley from Pippen. And a technical foul has been called on Barkley.
To his dying day, Charles claims the guy elbowed him 3 times. I said, Charles, you know, you're full of crap.
No, it's not true. I didn't elbow Barkley before the incident.
People always say, turn the other cheek. If you turn the other cheek, I'm gonna hit you another cheek too.
I thought, what are you doing, Charles? The guy is half your size. But, you know, Charles was an equal opportunity abuser.
Erlander Coimbra did not think it was a friendly elbow.
That's the same guy that just asked you for an autograph, Charles. I mean, you think he's not intimidated?
I think he's act like a bullying, but maybe it's from his personality.
Okay, hold on. Before we keep going, I know the situation that Charles Barkley's been in, because even when you hoop in the gym, like in a regular rec, right? This is one of the reasons why I've officially stopped hooping with non-hoopers, okay? If you're foreign and you can hoop and you've hooped, then I'll hoop with you. But if you've never played basketball before and then you go in there and play basketball with us, I'm not playing with you. I'm just not doing it, because that's part of the reason why I hurt my leg and I'm out right now, right? So the whole elbows and stuff like that, the people who are foreign and who've never played foreigners and people who've never played basketball, they're kind of in the same boat, because they don't know what they're doing. They come out there and you drive to the goal, they push you, right? They push you midair because they don't know the common decency of, like, if you push somebody midair, clothesline them midair, you can seriously injure somebody, you know? Or if they might throw elbows. They might throw elbows in the paint. They get the rebound. They come down on your face, or they may give it to you, and they might just come out and just do one of these on you. Like, and just because that guy was skinny doesn't mean that his elbows weren't pointy. He might have felt like I believe Charles, because I've been in that situation before. I've been in that situation before many times, and he said it happened 3 different occasions. That's how you know he may have did it at least once or twice, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I've been in that situation before. I don't want to hold y'all too up, but that specific moment, bro, I really understand that, bro.
The United States has defeated Angola by the score of 116 to 48.
The game may have ended in a rout, but afterwards, the result was overshadowed by the controversy.
Well stood the elbow. Well, he hit me, I hit him. That's the way it is.
Charles made you look like the ugly Americans, which we were trying not to do.
We said to Charles, look, man, you're a reflection of all of us. So if you do it, they're not going to write the article that Charles Barkley did. They're going to say the dream team.
Barkley had stained a dream debut for the Americans. But in their next game against Croatia, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan grabbed the spotlight, with the focus on their matchup with one of Europe's best players, Toni Kukoc.
Major storyline that carries into this game involves Toni Kukoc, second-round pick of the Chicago Bulls back in 1989. The Bulls made a strong push to sign him last season.
I like this
At that
story.
time, general managers in the league were trying to come up with gems, make their discoveries overseas. And Krause thought this guy could play in the NBA.
While Jordan and Pippen had been winning back-to-back titles, Chicago GM Jerry Krause had been publicly wooing Kukoc to join the Bulls.
Krause was recruiting this guy and talking how great he was. That's like a father who has all his kids, and now he sees another kid that he loves more than he loves his own. So we were not playing against Toni Kukoc. We were playing against Jerry Krause in a Croatian uniform.
But unfortunately for the real Toni Kukoc, he was now the target of the world's 2 best defensive players.
They was debating who was going to guard him. No, I got it. No, I got it.
I'm looking at Michael and Scottie, and they're ready for, blood. Man.
We knew the world.
Before this happens, bro, that is the scariest thing ever, bro. You the star player, right? You the star player on your team, right? And they're both debating on who they want you to guard. So the first half of the game, Michael got you. And that's gonna get you out, bro. That's gonna get you out. And then Scottie come in and finish the job. And Scottie's a completely different monster. These are 2 different defensive monsters, bro. I don't know how Toni Kukoc survived that. I don't know, bro.
We knew everyone wanted to see what Toni Kukoc was like, and we were going to give him the worst experience he ever had on the basketball court.
Pippen drew the initial assignment of shadowing Kukoc and harassed the Croatian from the opening whistle.
It was hard to run across the half court without a ball. And with the ball, it was just, here, somebody else get it.
Toni definitely wasn't getting a shot up, and he wasn't going to score.
Kukoc is nothing for 4, and he's contributed nothing.
We wanted to go guard him on the bench.
Kukoc is called for the offensive foul, and the pressure continues.
And after Pippen wore Kukoc down, it was Jordan's turn.
Kukoc, stolen by Jordan. He reads it better than anyone. Slam dunk.
Them dudes were all over him.
Jordan rejected Kukoc. Here's a 3-on-2. Pippen.
I had questions from my teammates during the game, like, what is going on? Do you not see that they're really trying to get you off the court? And I'm like, so what? I guess that's how NBA game is played.
Pippen, Jordan, and the Americans cruised to another victory. This one by 38 points. But the domination had its detractors.
This team of All-Stars is almost too good. Is it a positive or a negative?
The question was now being asked, was the Dream Team too great for its own good?
This team of All-Stars is almost too good. Some think that we should go back to the collegians. It's been too easy.
I think then we ought to ban the African runners from the 10,000 meters because they make it look so easy as well. This is about our best, and this is wonderful for the sport of basketball.
Irvin, there's been some comments that the Dream Team is getting all the attention, and there seems to be some resentment about it. Have you heard about it, and do you have any feelings about it?
Basically, you know, we haven't heard about it. We're just here to do our job.
The media may have been looking for signs of a backlash, but in Barcelona and in the world beyond, the embrace of the Dream Team was universal.
You're gonna stand out and root against Picasso? I mean, seriously. They rooted for genius at work.
I kept thinking that the attention would dissipate. They're going to play the first game. They're going to win by 60. People are going to go back and watch track.
Jordan in transition with a slam to give Team USA a 60-point lead.
It didn't. It kept building and building and building.
The U.S. with another trouncing, 127-83, 127 points.
Workers were trying to get autographs. The security people were trying to get autographs. All the athletes were standing on side like a parade.
What a ball fake by Scottie Pippen. It is a 58-point lead.
People perceived us as being superheroes.
This was a blowout on the U.S. men's Olympic team.
The guy on the bench is taking pictures, and I said, wow, we are having an effect over here.
Wrap around pass to Wrexham.
Another easy victory in this, their 5th game of the Olympics.
It was as if the President of the United States was in the midst of a caravan that was going through the streets.
It was like the Beatles, where there's thousands and thousands of people waiting all the time.
That was the most exhilarating 15 seconds of my life.
We're like, wow, this is amazing.
No one member of the Dream Team reveled in the Olympic experience more than Charles Barkley. After throwing the controversial elbow against Angola, Barkley had emerged as the team's most visible player.
Everybody always had the same question. How much of an ass is Charles Barkley?
Hey, Jack, when am I going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated for this stuff? I should be on the Dream Team cover.
And then every time you'd go spend time with him, you know, you'd just realize that he was the most enjoyable act, not only in all of sports, but possibly in all of pop culture.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. I just want to be like Mike.
Right away, I told my editors, I said, well, the #1 angle here is what is Charles doing?
And if you wanted the answer to that question, all you had to do was follow the crowds.
They're like, we don't want you guys out and about because we don't know how safe it is. And I'm like, dude, I'm at the Olympics. I'm not going to stay in my room the whole time.
So Barkley strolled Los Ramblas, a man of the people if ever there was one.
Man, I walked up and down the Ramblas every night, and the people were fantastic. They all wanted autographs and wanted to take pictures.
We could be inside the hotel. Soon we heard the big roar. Ha! We said, There go Charles. So Charles would be walking, and then thousands would be following him everywhere he went, you know. He was the Pied Piper.
Charles would go over to the village and like find the Angolan players and hang out along the Ramblas at night. He was the most memorable person of the 1992 Olympics.
I just saw this touch he had. I don't think anybody else in the world could have done it beside Charles Barkley. At the end of the day, he was America's best ambassador.
Barkley was celebrated for experiencing the Olympics on his own terms. More quietly, one of his teammates found a way to do the same.
We had the motorcycle escorts, and we bussed through traffic like Dick Tracy. But this one day, we got stuck in traffic, and we're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. Finally, I said, that's it. Let's go. Anybody wants to go with me, I'm heading.
He'd get off the bus, and his family met him. He started walking right through the middle of everybody, and nobody noticed him. I'm still on the bus, seeing him walk down the street, and I'm saying to myself, I would give anything to do what he just did.
See, guys, this is called the Ramblas. See all the footprints? All right.
So Las Ramblas, it's like Times Square or something. There's just so many people walking. I'm 6'1", I'm about the average size of everybody else on that little walk. So I'm walking with my family, and I have the camera, and nobody's noticing me.
You think it's the sunglasses that's fooling them? Must be. Hi, you from America?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. You been watching the Dream Team at all?
Yeah, I watched what you expect.
They're pretty good, aren't they? Yeah.
No attention whatsoever. Finally, we ran across this lady who had the Dream Team and all the pictures on her T-shirt.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you an American?
But of course.
You look wonderful.
Why, thank you.
She started speaking real excitedly about each of the players. And I said, have you had a chance to meet anyone?
Of course. We met Charles Barkley the other night.
Did you? He's a hell of a player. See, you got all the players right there on your shirt. Is Charles the only one you've ever seen?
The only ones I've ever met.
Hey, guys, do you know any of those guys on there?
I think my oldest son, Houston, ruined the surprise.
That's my dad. Your dad?
That's your dad? Too bad he's not here.
You play on a team?
I do, yeah.
Who is that guy?
I can't go anywhere without being bugged. Really not much different from Michael Jordan walking through here.
For the players, surreal experiences had become the norm. But even more memorable were the unlikely friendships developing behind the curtain.
It was a unique mix. You know, Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing became like best friends. I got a white guy from Indiana, and I got a brother from Jamaica.
Patrick said I could pick his mind. It took me 3 minutes. Now he gets a chance to come back and start picking on mine.
Took me one.
We were probably the two of the most unlikely people you thought that would be friends. But if you look, not only Larry and I got to be great friends, but all of those guys got to be much better friends.
We all enjoyed each other. We all enjoyed the ride. And we got a sense of each other as men. Then, when we got to the court, it made it even better.
The Dream Team's chemistry turned out to be the hallmark of their success, as the players closed in on what they came for.
Barkley now over the side leading cheers.
Their big margins of victory may have been a testament to their dominance, but numbers couldn't capture what made watching them so unforgettable.
Guys played the best basketball you've ever seen in your life. It was literally like great poetry or great art.
At times you feel you're watching a performance, a concert, rather than a basketball competition.
This was fun. This was like, it's how basketball's supposed to be.
And at the center of the fun was the team's biggest star, who had come to Barcelona at the peak of his powers and shown how much his popularity had exploded.
I will say this one thing about Michael Jordan. I've been around other celebrities in my life. I've never seen people react like they do to him. People go crazy when they see him.
In every corner of the world, there was someone who just wanted to see him.
Jordan!
No one had the sort of pull, the gravity that Michael Jordan had.
Jordan had initially come to Barcelona reluctantly, but an early morning trip just before the gold medal game revealed how meaningful his Olympic experience had become.
What time in the morning is it right now?
6:30, 6:45, 7, something like that. And I'm drinking coffee, so it's gotta be early. Can we go now? Where you from?
Albuquerque?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Big fan of yours. Everyone's a big fan of yours.
Your name? George Hirsch. George, how you doing? Michael George, nice to meet you. Last night I hit my wall, man.
Did you?
I couldn't make a basket.
What are you doing up so early?
I do remember getting up early to walk into the stadium.
That is the thing that I remember the most about the Olympics.
Olympic Stadium. Imagine all the athletes that's been here before us. It's amazing. What about Edwin Moses? Won 122 consecutive races. I think everybody's got something to cherish. I think this is something that my kids are gonna love one day.
The Dream Team squared off against Croatia again in the gold medal game, offering the world one more lasting impression of their supremacy.
Barkley with the lead for Mullen. Behind the back, Drexler.
Team USA came to send a message tonight.
We wanted to win and we wanted to dominate, but how we did it, sharing the ball, including everybody. We did it as a true team.
The U.S. has defeated Croatia 117-85, and they have won the gold here in Barcelona.
Campeón olímpico y medalla de oro, el equipo de los Estados Unidos de América.
There was never really any doubt the Dream Team would win gold in 1992. But as they walked back onto the court to get their medals, the moment still overwhelmed them.
You saw a lot of cheers from players. It was a very proud moment for me because anytime you represent your country, you know, that's a prideful thing.
Man, sent chills down my spine. It was a reward that I had never felt like that I would ever achieve. To do it on that stage with those group of guys, it's a memory I'll never forget.
Nothing in my life has ever felt like standing on that podium. I was getting goosebumps.
Every single time I heard the national anthem after that had a different significance to me. I knew what it really meant, you know.
As a young kid growing up, I used to watch Olympics on TV with my father, and all he talked about was the Star-Spangled Banner and the gold medal. It made him feel proud to be American. Being up on that podium that night and receiving it, my father, he'd been pretty proud.
All those emotions just overcame me. I got to be one of the guys one more time for my country. I said, man, I'll never forget this moment. You know, if this is the end, this is how I wanted to go out.
This group may well be the greatest team ever assembled in the history of team sports.
But when the medal ceremony was over, another realization began to settle in.
When I walked off, I remember thinking that whole dream has come to an end.
The next season, every Olympian except Magic Johnson and Larry Bird would return to the NBA. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen would win their third title against Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns. On the way to 6 championships overall, the last 3 with Tony Kukoc. Eventually, Other members of the team would also win titles. But each NBA player on the Dream Team would reach the Hall of Fame. Still, it's what they did together that summer that had the biggest impact on the game. An impact that continues to grow today.
It really lifted basketball, and it gave birth to international stars who had nothing to do with those games in '92, but who took so much from it.
We made the game a worldwide game. You know, I talked to Tony Parker, I talked to Ginobili, I talked to Dirk Nowitzki. Those guys say their first love of basketball started with the Dream Team, and I'm really proud of that.
The world can change a lot in 20 years. But there are moments in time you never forget, no matter how long it's been. No matter how much else has changed in your life since. 20 years later, they've all kept ties to the game in one way or another. And they all talk about the summer of '92 as if it happened just yesterday. An experience still unlike any other in their remarkable basketball lives.
I've never had more fun being around anybody. Everybody got along, there was no ego, we had fun. You know, clearly everybody reminds me I never won a championship. So that to me was like winning the championship, winning the gold medal, and hanging out with these guys.
The reward itself is really only a small part of the story. It's what the gold medal represents that will always tie these men together.
This is like, this fraternity, that's pretty awesome.
I don't think you're ever going to be able to get 11 Hall of Famers to play all at once, you know, on one team. That's unheard of.
Ha! We go on the bus. Ha! We come back. Ha! Walk out the hotel. Ha! Wave. Ha! Wave outside your window. Ha! I can't believe it. I lost it so magical. I just saw my God.
It changed sport as we know it. They showed the world how to play basketball. What other team can say that? I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. It's an insult to compare anybody else to that team.
Take a good look. Perhaps we'll never see a team this great again.
No team will ever have that happen, hasn't had that happen, and that's the Dream Team.
All right. A couple things before we get up out of here. There was 3 things that I actually wanted to talk about from this documentary. One of the things was that I know that they announced this in the Bulls documentary that when MJ before he couldn't accept his gold medal if he wasn't wearing the clothing, because the clothing was from Champion and he was signed to Nike, right? And he couldn't wear none of that stuff. He didn't even want to wear it, right? So he was trying to negotiate, trying to figure out a way to get out of it, but they said, no, if you don't wear it, you're not getting your gold medal. So what did he do? He decided to get an American flag and drape it. That was the craziest thing that I've ever seen him do, in like as far as that, bro. He took an American flag and draped it to where the logo was covered, bro. And he was still able to accept the gold medal. They said that they couldn't, they said that they had to wear it. They didn't say that he had to show it. You see what I'm saying? Now, the second thing is that there was a couple of Hall of Famers that weren't on that team that I wish that could have been on that team. And I'm not talking about Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about Hakeem Olajuwon. I would say Shaq. I want to say Shaq, but I don't know how good Shaq was at that time. You know, I want to say Shaq, but I don't know. But those are the only 2 players that come to my mind. Of course, Isaiah Thomas, he could have been in that team. Should he have been in that team? Probably. But we already know why. It wasn't because of MJ. You know, it wasn't because of MJ. I don't think it was because of MJ. If nobody wanted to be in that team, I mean, if nobody wanted him to be on that team, then I think they would have been like, no, you can't be on the team. Half of the team doesn't want you on the team. Now, it could be insinuated that way. They can't just be like, oh, MJ don't want to play, so we're just not going to have it at all unless he plays. And in order to satisfy him, we're going to do that because Isaiah Thomas is not going to be playing. I don't think they're going to do that because, as you can see, they convinced him. He said no, and then they went and got the squad, and then he came back. Now, I think if they asked MJ and he still said no, I think they still would have did this whole Dream Team thing, right? So I don't think MJ was the sole purpose and the biggest reason as to why Isaiah Thomas was not on that team. I think it was a collective. Bro. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is the Redeem Team. Now, can the Dream Team beat the Redeem Team? 100,000%. Yes, bro. The Dream Team was literally blowing these teams out of the water, right? These teams were blowing these teams. And you can't say anything like, oh, the NBA was so much better than the rest of the guys, because the guys in America, these are the top college guys in America, right? These are guys that are going to be drafted into the NBA. They sent them out there, right? They sent them out there because professional sports is, you know what I'm saying? They sent them out there to go and play against, you know, the Euro League and all those other teams, those foreign teams, and they were always losing every single year. So they had to get the NBA, and the NBA was just so much better than them. They blew them out the water, bro. Now, you take that, right? You take that. After the Dream Team, I don't know, did they win? Because it's every 4 years. 96. They had a 96. I think that's the one with Gary Payton in them. Then they won the gold medal after that, right? And then 2000, I don't think they won. And in 2004, I don't think they won. The 2004 was one of the worst ones because they got the bronze joint. And that's where y'all sent the whole NBA over there, right? Y'all sent the whole NBA over there. And that's the one that LeBron was a part of, right? You had LeBron, AI, all these other teams on there, right? But they didn't win a gold medalist, right? Then 2008 comes around, right? You got all these guys. You got, who did they have? They had Kobe, they had Bron, they had Darren Williams, they had Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. They had a good amount of guys on that team, but they barely won. They barely won, bro. If it wasn't for Kobe, I don't think they would have won. They barely won, bro. That's the thing. The Dream Team blew every team out the water, bro. They blew every team out the water. If there was no Dream Team, there would not be a wider perspective of the NBA as it is today if it wasn't for the Dream Team. You wouldn't see guys like Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, Serge Ibaka, Pau Gasol, Tony Kukoc. Who else was out there, man? Just a bunch of different names out there. You probably wouldn't be seeing the Lukas and the Jokic's and the Giannis's and those guys because of the fact that the NBA wasn't global yet until the Dream Team made it global. So that's why I think that the Dream Team will beat the Redeem Team. I think it'll be a very competitive matchup, but the Dream Team's going to beat them. Don't even sit up there and do all that. Don't even sit up here and disrespect them like that. But anyways, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this little journey with me going through the Dream Team, watching the documentary. Let me know in the comment section what else you guys want me to watch. We got a couple more Michael Jordan videos going, and we're going to go from there. And until my next video, I'm going to see y'all.